Trump halts his Cadillac Motorcade for a homeless girl. What happens next will astound you. Under the blazing afternoon sun, the city streets hummed with the chaotic symphony of honking horns and hurried footsteps. Amid this vibrant urban scene, Donald Trump's Cadillac led a long motorcade, gliding through the crowded avenues like a beacon of authority under the watchful eyes of pedestrians. Inside the vehicle, Trump was focused on a report being delivered by one of his advisors when something unusual caught his attention outside the window. Amid the bustling sidewalk stood a frail girl, no older than 10. Clutched in her small hands was a worn cardboard sign with an earnest plea scribbled in bold letters. "Please help. My family desperately needs a miracle." Trump leaned closer to the glass, his expression shifting as he studied her. The girl's disheveled appearance, a faded gray hoodie, tangled hair, and a dirt-smudged face, framed her piercing blue eyes, which scanned the passing cars with a quiet desperation, seeking hope in an indifferent world. "Stop the car," Trump commanded, his tone calm but resolute. The motorcade came to an abrupt halt, jolting the vehicles behind. Inside, advisors and security personnel exchanged wary glances, caught off guard by the sudden directive. "Sir, this isn't a safe area. We should keep moving," one bodyguard urged cautiously. "No," Trump interrupted, his gaze fixed unwaveringly on the girl. "I want to know her story." Without further objection, Trump stepped out of the car, drawing immediate attention from the surrounding crowd. Some bystanders, recognizing him, quickly pulled out their phones to capture the moment. The air seemed to pause as Trump approached the girl, crouching slightly to meet her eye level. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked gently, his tone softer but still commanding. The girl flinched, casting a nervous glance at the nearby security detail. "My name is Lily," she murmured, clutching the cardboard sign closer as though it were a shield. "Lily, why are you out here?" Trump continued, his voice lowering in an attempt to reassure her. Lily hesitated, her lips quivering as she mustered the courage to respond. I just need someone to help my mom," she stammered. "She's really sick. We don't have a home. My dad died in the war." Her voice broke, but a determined glint lingered in her wide eyes. Trump's face softened, though a trace of deep thought clouded his expression. "Where did your dad serve?" he asked gently. "In the Middle East, sir," Lily replied, her voice cracking as tears welled in her eyes. "He was a soldier, a hero. But when he died, we lost everything." Her words struck Trump like a heavy blow. Straightening up, he turned to his entourage, his face set with determination. "Get the car ready, I'm going to see where Lily lives," he declared, his tone leaving no room for debate. "Sir, it's extremely dangerous," a bodyguard interjected urgently. "We can't guarantee your safety in that area." Trump's steely gaze locked onto the man. "If a child can stand on a busy street to fight for her mother, I can take the risk to see where they live. If you're too afraid, feel free to stay behind." A tense silence followed as no one dared to argue further. Trump placed a reassuring hand on Lily's shoulder. "Lead the way," he said firmly. "Let's go meet your mother." The motorcade proceeded slowly, winding through narrowing streets as the scenery transformed. The glimmering skyscrapers and opulent storefronts faded into a backdrop of crumbling buildings, sagging roofs, and alleys strewn with litter. Inside the vehicle, Lily sat quietly, her small hands clasped nervously on her lap. Her eyes revealed a flicker of hope, mingled with apprehension, but her determined expression made one thing clear: she wasn't about to let this opportunity slip through her fingers. "We're almost there, Mr. Trump," Lily said softly, gesturing toward a makeshift home nestled deep within the dimly lit alleyway. Trump gave a small nod, his expression tightening. He realized this wasn't just about visiting a struggling family. It was the start of something bigger, a chance to transform not only Lily's life but the lives of many others facing similar hardships. The Cadillac came to a halt in front of a ramshackle structure at the alley's end. The house's wooden door, patched together with mismatched planks, hung loosely on its hinges, while the rusted tin roof bore several gaping holes. A group of children, their faces smudged with dirt, stood nearby, their wide eyes locked on the luxurious motorcade with silent curiosity. Trump stepped out, his gaze sweeping over the grim surroundings as his security detail fanned out, scanning the dimly lit area for potential risks. Lily, her small hand gripping his firmly, guided him to the door and pushed it open carefully, revealing its fragile state. "My mom's inside," she whispered, her voice tinged with both nervousness and hope. Trump entered, his eyes immediately drawn to a small bed in the corner where a frail woman lay struggling to sit up. Her eyes widened in a mix of shock and uncertainty as unfamiliar faces crowded the tiny room. "Mom, this is Mr. Trump," Lily said, her voice soft yet brimming with hope. He's here to help us. The woman looked up, her lips dry and cracked as they quivered. Mr. Trump, she murmured hesitantly, as though unsure if she could believe what she was seeing. Trump knelt by her side and extended his hand with a reassuring smile. You don't need to say anything, he said warmly. Lily has done something extraordinary by bringing me here. I'd like to hear your story. Clutching her daughter's thin hand as if to draw strength, the woman began in a quiet but steady voice. My husband Daniel was a soldier, she said. He gave his life in the Middle East, leaving me and Lily behind. After he died, I got sick. I couldn't work anymore and everything fell apart. We lost our home, our belongings, and now, this is all we have left. Trump's eyes scanned the dimly lit room. No natural light penetrated the patched-up walls. A broken chair sat precariously in one corner, and stacks of old, worn boxes doubled as makeshift storage. My mom's been sick for a long time, Lily whispered, barely audible. I've tried to help her, but I don't know what else to do. I don't want her to die. Lily's quiet words struck Trump deeply, freezing him momentarily. He met her gaze, the desperation in her eyes cutting through the room's silence. Turning to his team, Trump's voice took on a tone of urgency. I need a full assessment of this family's situation immediately. Her mother's health must be evaluated tonight, he ordered, leaving no room for dissent. An advisor stepped closer, speaking in a hushed tone. Sir, this is a dangerous area. We should leave and let specialized organizations handle this. Trump turned sharply, his expression resolute. She doesn't need promises. She needs action. I'm not leaving until I'm sure they're getting the help they need. He knelt beside Lily and rested a steady hand on her shoulder. Lily, what you've done is incredibly brave. You've been fighting for your mom, and now it's my turn to fight for both of you. Overcome with emotion, Lily's mother began to cry, tears streaming down her sunken cheeks. Mr. Trump, thank you, I don't even know what to say, she choked out. Trump met her gaze with a calm yet firm expression. You don't have to say anything. Your husband gave his life for this country. This is the least we can do for you. His voice dropped to a low, resolute tone. This is a debt we owe your family. As he stepped outside, the small, crumbling house behind him, a crowd had gathered in the alley. Their eyes, a blend of curiosity and guarded hope, followed his every move. Trump paused briefly, turning to glance back at Lily and her mother one last time before facing the crowd. Trump shifted his gaze from Lily's mother to the growing crowd scattered throughout the alley. This isn't just the story of one family, he declared, his voice resonating with authority. This is the story of thousands of families who have been overlooked and left behind. Starting today, we are going to change that. A hesitant smattering of applause broke the silence, slowly building as more people joined in. Tired, weathered faces began to soften, and a glimmer of hope sparked among the onlookers. Beside her mother, Lily held her hand tightly, her wide eyes alight with renewed faith. Trump turned to his advisors, his tone resolute. This doesn't end here. This is only the beginning. With those words, Trump not only gave hope to Lily and her mother but also kindled a sense of possibility for an entire community that had long been forgotten. As he stepped out of the crumbling house, the air outside felt different. The crowd had grown, with more residents from the surrounding slum cautiously gathering. Their faces, once skeptical, now bore traces of cautious optimism. Some stood at a distance, observing silently, while children huddled together, their wide eyes filled with wonder. Trump paused, silently taking in the scene. The collapsing homes, trash-strewn alleys, and weary expressions that spoke of countless hardships. His reflection was interrupted by one of his advisors, who approached quickly. Sir, we need to leave immediately. This area is unsafe, and your presence is attracting too much attention. If something happens, we won't be able to respond in time. Trump turned to him, his gaze firm and unwavering. I'm not here for attention. I'm here to take action. Sir, you can take action from your office. The advisor pressed insistently. You can issue directives, and support teams will be dispatched to handle this. Trump shook his head, cutting him off mid-sentence. If I leave now, I send a message that I'm unwilling to confront the reality of what's happening here. This isn't about convenience. Another security agent hurried over, speaking in a low tone. Sir, there's a group of young men gathering at the end of the alley. Their intentions are unclear, and the situation could escalate. Trump glanced toward the end of the alley, where a small group of people stood, their expressions unreadable. He exhaled sharply before turning back to his team. Do your job and secure the area, he said firmly. But I won't leave just because of fear. He knelt beside Lily again, his hand resting gently on her shoulder. Take me to your neighbors, Lily. I need to learn more about what's happening here. Lily hesitated briefly before nodding. I'll show you, she said softly. The group moved carefully through the narrow alley, Trump flanked by Lily and a few security guards. From doorways and windows, wary eyes followed them, blending curiosity with disbelief. A middle-aged man stood in the doorway of a deteriorating home, his face weathered and marked by hardship. As Trump approached, the man stepped forward. Mr. Trump, he said hoarsely. I can't believe you're actually here, but if you've come, you need to know. This isn't just poverty. We've been abandoned, forgotten, no one cares about us. Trump stopped, his steady gaze fixed on the man as he spoke. Most of us here are families of those who've served this country, the man continued, his voice heavy with frustration and pain. But no one recognizes the burden we bear after they're gone. My son had to leave school, and we scrape by on whatever we can, but it's never enough. Trump took in the crumbling homes, the weary faces, and the sense of collective despair hanging over the community. Turning to one of his advisors, his voice rang out, cutting through the stillness like a blade. I want a detailed report on every family here, their needs, their struggles, and I want it on my desk by tomorrow morning. The advisor hesitated. Sir, we could coordinate this with local agencies. Trump interrupted, his tone sharp and resolute. They've waited long enough. We're not delaying this any further. If Lily can stand on a street corner pleading for help, then we have no excuse not to act immediately. As Trump returned to the front of Lily's home, the once small crowd outside had grown into a sizable gathering. Word of his presence had spread quickly, drawing residents from nearby streets and alleys. People of all ages stood together, their faces marked by exhaustion but now lit with cautious curiosity. Trump ascended the creaking wooden steps, his broad frame and commanding presence making the fragile structure seem even smaller. He turned to face the gathering, his sharp gaze meeting the worn eyes of the crowd. No family, especially the family of someone who has sacrificed everything for this country, should ever have to endure conditions like these. Trump declared, his voice strong and unwavering. The silence that had blanketed the alley amplified his words, each syllable cutting through the tension. You've been forgotten, left behind in the shadows. But that ends here. Starting today, I make this promise to you. I will not only help Lily and her mother, but I will help every single one of you. Together, we will bring change. Together, we will rebuild hope. For a moment, the crowd remained still, absorbing his words. Then, a tentative clap broke the silence. It was joined by another, and then another, until the applause swelled into a wave of sound that echoed off the crumbling walls. Tears glistened in the eyes of many, their expressions shifting from skepticism to something resembling faith. Among the crowd, a few people murmured words of encouragement to one another, while others simply stood in awe of the man who had just promised them the impossible. Trump turned back to Lily, lowering himself to one knee so he could meet her eyes. Her small hand rested in his larger one as he spoke, his voice soft yet filled with conviction. Lily, you've done something extraordinary today. You found the courage to speak out for your mother, to fight for her when no one else would. But you didn't just help her. You've given a voice to this entire community. You've reminded all of us of the power of hope and action. I promise you, I won't let you down. The little girl's blue eyes sparkled with a mixture of relief and wonder. Her grip on his hand tightened as if she were anchoring herself to this moment. Behind her, her mother stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her face, her frail body trembling with gratitude. As Trump rose and moved toward the Cadillac one, he paused before climbing inside. Turning to his lead security officer, he spoke with quiet but firm authority. From this moment forward, this is my top priority. I want every resource mobilized. Medical, financial, logistical. No delays, no bureaucracy. And make sure every step of this initiative comes directly to my desk. I will personally oversee it all. The motorcade began to roll out of the alley, its sleek vehicles a stark contrast to the crumbling homes and debris-strewn streets. The crowd remained where they stood, their eyes fixed on Trump's retreating figure. Whispers rippled through the group as they shared thoughts and speculations, their voices tinged with something that had long been absent. Hope. For Trump, however, this wasn't a mission accomplished. As he looked out the window of the moving vehicle, taking in the scenes of poverty and despair, he felt a renewed sense of determination. This moment, he knew, was merely the start of a much larger journey. A journey to ensure that no one else would have to live as forgotten as these families had. Within weeks, Lily's story and Trump's actions became a national sensation. A video of the moment Trump stopped his motorcade to meet Lily went viral, showing him holding her hand as they entered the slum. His willingness to confront the situation, despite the risks, deeply resonated with people across the nation. On social media, the hashtag #Hope for Heroes trended as thousands shared Lily's story and their own struggles as families of veterans. One comment stood out. "Lily isn't just a courageous little girl. She's a symbol for all the forgotten families we can no longer ignore." The movement didn't stop with Lily. Trump's Hope for Heroes initiative quickly expanded into a nationwide campaign. Corporate support: major companies pledged millions of dollars to support the effort. Charity collaborations: leading nonprofits partnered to launch tangible programs for veteran families in need. Individual contributions: inspired by Lily, a teacher in Texas donated her entire bonus to a struggling veteran family. What began as a moment of bravery from a little girl had grown into a movement fueled by determination, compassion, and action. It became a beacon of hope for thousands of families who had been overlooked for far too long. Student initiatives sprung up across the nation, inspired by the movement. At a high school in California, students organized a drive to collect school supplies for the children of veteran families. In Ohio, a veteran took it upon himself to repair homes for struggling families in his neighborhood. "Lily's story moved me," one volunteer said during a televised interview. "I want to make a difference, even if it's just a small one." As the movement grew, Lily and her mother became symbols of resilience and hope. They were invited to appear on major television programs to share their story and express gratitude for the overwhelming support they had received. In one particularly moving interview, Lily's mother reflected, "I used to think we'd never have a chance at a normal life. But now I see hope, not just for us, but for so many other families like ours." To celebrate the progress of the Hope for Heroes campaign, Trump hosted a special event at the White House honoring veteran families and those who contributed to the movement. The event wasn't just a celebration. It was a symbol of enduring commitment to brighter futures for families across the nation. Addressing hundreds of attendees, Trump spoke with conviction. "Lily is a brave little girl, and her story has redefined how we view our responsibility to those who have sacrificed for this country. Today, we honor veteran families, but we also pledge to ensure they never suffer in silence again." Trump called for continued community involvement, emphasizing, "Each of us can make a difference, no matter how small. Together, let's build an America where no one is forgotten." During the event, Lily and her mother were invited to the stage. In a simple white dress, Lily hesitated briefly before speaking. Her voice was soft but resolute. "I never thought a little cardboard sign could change anything. I just wanted to save my mom, but now I know that having the courage to stand up can change the whole world. Thank you, Mr. Trump, and thank you to everyone who helped my family and so many others." The audience erupted into applause, their cheers filling the room. Many wiped away tears, profoundly moved by the sincerity and bravery of the young girl. The Hope for Heroes campaign continued to grow, extending its reach beyond veteran families to support other underserved communities. Inspired by the movement, states began implementing similar assistance programs, offering practical help to those in need. A television commentator observed, "For the first time in years, we're seeing genuine unity. Hope for Heroes isn't just a campaign. It's a revival of social responsibility and compassion." The movement transformed not only Lily and her mother's lives but also brought hope to thousands of families across the country. Yet, Trump remained acutely aware that the mission was far from over. His resolve deepened, determined to ensure no one would be left behind. Months later, the Hope for Heroes initiative had achieved monumental success. Thousands of veteran families gained access to vital resources, from housing and health care to new job opportunities. Stories of transformation and hope filled the media, inspiring people nationwide. On a sunny morning, Trump presided over the dedication of a new national memorial on the National Mall, honoring fallen veterans and their families. The event marked not only recognition of sacrifices made but also a renewed commitment to support those who had given everything for their country. The memorial featured a striking design. A bronze statue of a soldier kneeling to hold the hand of his young daughter, symbolizing sacrifice and the enduring strength of family bonds. The base of the statue bore the inscription, "They gave everything, and now we must ensure they are never forgotten." Lily and her mother joined Trump on stage as the statue was unveiled. Cheers erupted from the crowd, a testament to the powerful legacy the movement had created. The crowd erupted in applause, many moved to tears as the unveiled memorial's powerful imagery came into view. Trump stepped to the podium, his voice steady yet infused with emotion. "Today, we do more than reveal a memorial. We etch into the heart of this nation a pledge that those who have sacrificed for our country deserve the utmost respect, and their families deserve futures that honor their sacrifices." Lily taught me something profound. Courage knows no boundaries, And hope can light even the darkest paths. But this is just the beginning. We will continue to fight for every veteran family and for everyone who has given so much for our nation. The applause swelled into a thunderous standing ovation as Trump stepped back from the podium. With a warm gesture, he invited Lily to speak. The young girl stepped forward, her simple white dress fluttering gently in the breeze. Her small hands trembled slightly as she gripped the microphone, her wide eyes scanning the crowd, brimming with determination. Her voice, though shaky, resonated with heartfelt sincerity. "I'm just a little girl, and all I wanted was to help my mom. But thanks to Mr. Trump and everyone here, I've learned that even the smallest actions can make a big difference. Thank you for helping not just my mom and me, but so many other families like ours." As her words echoed through the square, the crowd rose to its feet once more, a wave of applause and cheers spreading like wildfire. Many in attendance wiped away tears, touched by the young girl's authenticity and courage. The memorial quickly became more than a static tribute. It transformed into a lasting symbol of the Hope for Heroes movement. Inspired by its message, states across the nation began adopting programs modeled after the initiative, delivering hope to those long forgotten. Trump remained personally involved, closely overseeing the fund's efforts and attending events to rally communities toward greater involvement. One journalist captured the essence of the story, writing, "This isn't just about one man's compassion. It's about how a little girl, armed with nothing more than a cardboard sign, inspired an entire nation to act." Though fictional, the story carried a universal message. Across the globe, countless people like Lily are waiting for someone to reach out. The closing moments of the video urged viewers to take action. Start small. Donate, volunteer, or simply share this story to spread hope. If this story touched your heart, share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to help us share more tales of kindness and humanity. Every share sparks hope, and every action moves us closer to change. Thank you for being part of this journey. The story concluded with a poignant message. Unity and compassion, even in the smallest acts, can create miracles.